Hey guys, welcome to Executive Warrior Academy. Today I want to share with you how I was able to pick up a brand new piece of software, a software I've never seen, I've never touched and never used before. I can pick it up within 20 minutes and I can teach it to someone else and get paid for doing that. So if you're interested in all about accelerated learning, this is the episode you want to listen in. Stay tuned. Hi, my name is Stephen Ko. I'm head coach here at Executive Warrior Academy, where we show you how you can become stronger, smarter, and more influential. Help you achieve your goals faster, get there, and stop wasting time. All right, so today is about accelerated learning, and one of my clients was asking me about a particular software called Padlet. Now, because of COVID, there's a lot of distance learning. Right? So what used to happen in classroom can no longer happen, and therefore all these teachers who's never done remote training before all of a sudden have to pick up all these new tools, new technology, learn all these new skills to simply make a living. So can you imagine the amount of stress that can create, especially if you never used these tools before? Now, I've used a ton of tools in my experience as working as a consultant, teaching people over the world from Boston, New York, Singapore. And so I'm very familiar with a lot of these tools. Now, the thing is, I've never heard of Padlet before. I've never used it. And I was thinking, what the heck is Padlet? Where does it fit? So I went and did my research. And within half an hour, I booked a time with my client and I started to share with her all the ins and outs of Padlet. So how was I able to do that? So I learned this skill when I worked as a consultant. As you know, consultants are highly paid. I get charged out at $4,000, $5,000 a day. And if you're paying me $5,000 a day for my advice, you want an expert, right? But I'll let you a little trade secret that very few consultants will share. The fact is, a lot of these consultants actually just pick up those skills or those knowledge literally days, if not hours, before they meet you. So I'm not trying to underplay the importance of consulting. I'm just stating a fact. A consultant needs to be able to deliver value quick. There's so much to know. It's impossible for a consultant to know everything there is ever to know to help their client. But they're there to provide a service. They're there to hold out the reputation of the company, whether it's McKinsey's, Deloitte's, or any of the big consulting company. They are there to bring that particular brand of expertise. And they, even if they don't know it, they need to learn it quickly. If you have a need for them, they will get it done. And what they share with you is actually accurate. It is correct. They're not making things up. They are getting the best researchers to help them with research, but every consultant must master this skill to be able to pick up something very, very quickly and to be able to help their clients on demand. The way they do that is through what I call a chassis process. So we have to learn things quickly, we have to deliver value quickly, and then if we do not have this, it's impossible to pick up these skills so quickly to be able to be successful as a consultant. So what the heck is a chassis? So let me illustrate. So I'm going to switch over to my blackboard. So as you know, what's this? So yes, I'm not a good drawer, but I think you can see this is a car. So what does a car have? Every single car, majority of them, they have these things called wheels. They have windows. They have a body. Correct? With me so far? No disagreement? Okay? They have what you call an engine. Also known, or you can call it a powertrain. So power train, okay, to drive the car, and then potentially you have little things here called the brakes. So that's pretty much the basics of a car. You have something to make it go forward. You have wheels so you can roll. You have a window so you can see, and you have a body to hold it all together. So that's essentially moving pieces of a car. And so every car have these key pieces: a window to see, a powertrain to drive, wheels to help them move, and brakes to help you slow down when required. Correct? Fantastic. So if you want to upgrade the car, let's say you want to make it go faster, where do you look for? You swap out the engine. It's interchangeable. You can change the engine. You can change the powertrain. You can even make some, move them from diesel to petrol to diesel to maybe electric motor even, right? Put in battery, and there are companies who specializing in transforming old cars, gas-powered cars into electric cars. So we can change the engine. Can you change the wheels? Can you upgrade the brakes? So you can see that once you figure out the basics from the moving pieces of a car, the pieces that you can swap in and out, it allows you to interchange, to swap things in and out and adapt. So you can modify the performance this way. And this is very similar in terms of life, in business as well. So in business, you can look at this in terms of as a business chassis. And this is one of the first things I learned as an entrepreneur, is that you can actually look at the business by figuring out the structure of how things fit together, so you can work out where to tweak. So let me give you a business chassis example. Okay, so a business chassis works like this. You have customer, or you have we call leads. So leads are people who come into your sales funnel you haven't converted. So leads multiplied by a conversion rate, that gives you customers. So with the amount of people that I approach, that I'm able to convince and bring on board, they become my customers. And of the customers, some will buy the product at the average dollar cost of my product, whatever that is. Customers who multiply by average dollar sale, okay, multiplied by margin equals profit. Okay, so number of customers multiplied by the average dollar sale of the thing multiplied by margin gives me my profit. So very, very basic. It's more complicated than this. There's depreciation, there's amortization. I can never pronounce that word, amortization. I'll go and practice. Okay, so accountants, don't judge me. I'm not a big accounting expert, you can tell. So that means you can see this is the basic business structure. What can you modify? Can you modify the number of leads you generate? Yep. Advertise more. You can get more referral. Can you improve your conversion rate? Improve your sales skills. You can improve your ability to write sales copy. You can do all kinds of things to improve conversion rate. Yes. Can you modify the amount of customers? No, because that's a result of leads multiplied by conversion rate. Can you increase your average dollar sale by creating higher value product? Yes. Can you improve your margin? Yes. So you can see within the business there are 4 moving pieces for which we can modify, and that will influence the profit, which is not something you look to shift. It's not a dial you can move, dial up and dial down to move. So again, this is a business chassis. It gives you the basic structure, and you can see what are the moving pieces, and so you can swap things in out. The reason why I explained the car and business chassis is the chassis concept is a learning structure for which you can then adopt and be able to swap things in and out to master pretty much anything that's out there. As you develop the skill as an entrepreneur, as a leader, having this ability to build a business chassis in your mind is critical to your success. If you want to learn anything quick, you need to have some sort of structure so you know where things fit. If I go to a sales seminar and they talk about sales copy, I know it has influence on leads and conversion rate, but maybe not margin and average dollar sale. If I go to a product creation or ideation workshop where they teach me all the skills about creating a better product, I know that's going to influence my average dollar sale and margin, but maybe not necessarily the conversion rate. So knowing where things fit is critical for you to be able to pick up things quickly, because you know what roles they can play and what's relevant and what's not. So let me come back to the example of remote teaching and providing live online training effectively. So, and this is where I shared, once I watched a brief introduction to Padlet, I did some research, I have a look at, I quickly pinpointed where it fits in the online training chassis or my model, mental model for understanding. So when it comes to online training, you've got the people at the end, right? This is your student that you're trying to reach. And the student can be all over the world, right? They can be anywhere and you need to reach them. For you to reach them, which is you have the internet. We have internet in between you and the student. And on your side, okay, this is you. You need to somehow reach your audience through the internet. Basic question. So what are the moving pieces? First, you need something to bridge communication, right? So you have a computer. You can prepare material to present, to teach, and then the student has a computer or a tablet or a phone, whatever device. But anyway, you've got a device on each end and you need to bridge the gap. What's the software for bridging the gap between you and your student through the internet? So this is where Zoom fits in. This is where MS Teams fit in. This is where all the online webinar, all the webinar software fit in. It's a tool for bridging the gap. Now, on your computer, how you prepare the material, you've got something to collate the teaching material, right? So you have a teaching material. And your teaching material can be Word, right? It can be PowerPoint. It could be slides. Okay? So you have something to create the software. Then you need something to communicate what you see to your client. So I don't want to go in, because this is not a full-on online training course. Actually, if you're interested, put it in your comments. I'm more than happy to create one if you think that's going to help you, especially in the COVID world. I can share with some of my online training delivery tips and tricks that I believe can help you succeed as an online trainer. So anyway, besides the point, this is just very superficial. I'm just listed two pieces. You've got the training software, you've got the communication software, but then another piece you have is collaboration or interaction. So PowerPoint and slides are very one way. It's me talking and then I just assume you are kind of listening in. But you may not, especially in the COVID world. What you need to notice is the people on the other side of your computer may not be engaged. They may be multitasking. They may be distracted. They may be looking at a cat video while pretending to be online. So this is something we, as a professional trainer, you want to care about this. You want to care about engagement. You can't just blame the student for multitasking. You have to make an engaging environment to make them want to engage, not just kind of throw that responsibility over the fence. That's not empowering. It's not a growth mindset. So we don't want that. So if we take that responsibility, then we want to build engagement. Then you have a way to kind of pull the engagement into action. So I can do that purely via the software of communication software. I can ask a question and wait for a response and get the response. That can work on a one-on-one or one-on-two, but when you have 1-on-20, 1-on-50 type of training, it becomes increasingly difficult. So there's another class of in the online training chassis, collaboration and interaction. So this is where things you have software like Slido, you have Mentimeter, etc. Right? So now this structure, once you fit it together, then it allows you to pretty much, it's a basic, right? So you're rarely gonna evolve far beyond that. Sometimes every so often this will evolve, you add a piece, and that's okay. You rejig your mental chassis for learning. But for the purpose of my explanation of how I was able to pick up Padlet in so small time to be able to teach it is because when I look into Padlet, I recognized it's a collaboration interaction software. It fits right in here. So it's not the same as Zoom. It's not the same as PowerPoint. It's a interaction software. I can do quizzes. I can put a shared whiteboard. I can get basically putting challenges. I can give students on a Padlet on their phone to drag and drop, do whatever exercises to make sure that I can check in and making sure that they're engaged. I can do an impromptu assessment of understanding. So as I'm teaching, I can say, answer this quick quiz. And the thing is that the student actually won't see anyone else's answer. They'll only see it there. So me as a teacher can gauge if I'm on the right track. If I've lost them along the way, I can make dynamic adjustment to make sure I revisit the key points. I don't lose them. And the student don't feel embarrassed to contribute. So that is where it fits. And be able to understand what role it sits, it allows me to look for the functions that's relevant, right? Rather than things that's irrelevant, it allows me to kind of dial in on how I can understand and comprehend this software better, knowing what role it plays in a greater scheme of things. It's like learning that a wheel is supposed to roll. I can focus on its ability to roll, right? I can focus a wheel. It needs to maintain air on the inside and not let it out. I can focus on this rather than not knowing where it fits. Then I have to kind of read everything, learn everything, which is a big waste of time. And as a consultant, we can't afford to waste time. It's all about personal productivity, effectiveness, picking up things quickly so we can add value to our client quickly. Hope that makes sense. So this is critical. If you want to learn things quickly, you have to build a mental chassis in your mind for learning. So you know where and then continue to evolve that over time and be able to plug in when you see, we are constantly learning new information, and if you're not growing, we need to constantly learn. Learning and adapting is part of growth. And this is how you're going to be 1% better every single day. We're going to learn. But as we learn, we start to reformat, restructure. Does this change our mental chassis for learning? No, it doesn't. If not, where does it fit? Where does it fit? What attribute? Once you figure it out, then you can really dig in and focus on learning, and you can learn quickly to be able to add value to the people you're looking to serve. And that's what it's all about. I'm not talking about making things up when you don't. We're actually talking rubbish. I'm actually talking about how we can deliver value to the people who need it quicker, to be of service to the people you're trying to help. This is a shortcut for learning and serving others more effectively. So that's what I want to share with you. And this is my secret. And this is how I was able to get to be very successful and be considered one of the top consultants within the consulting company I was working with. My clients loved me because I was able to help them. I was able to pick things up very, very quickly. And whatever questions I ask, I know where to pull resources to be able, because I have a very strong mental chassis of learning. And that's how I was able to succeed. So I hope you find this particular useful lesson in terms of this is my secret for learning anything very quick is to create a mental chassis. If you have any questions about anything I presented or shared, just pop them in the comment below. I hope today has been instructional for you. You find today useful, and until I see you next time, I wish you abundant success. I wish you prosperity and safety. God bless. Take care.